is
the name of the video is
impression from the meeting with Anastasia Zelevich, the founder of the autonomy.
Yeah, and this is a short video. This lady, who is called Gerda, she did not believe in living autonomous living lifestyle, where you don't eat, you don't sleep, you don't drink anything, and she was calling those things not possible. Bunch of lies. You know how many people think that it's lie. So after meeting Anastasia one-on-one, she changed totally. We want to hear a story a little, just for 4 minutes. Yes, thank you. And welcome, Irina. Here is Frederick. We are doing this work together. So thank you.
Right. I wanted to tell you guys about impression about my meeting with Anastasia Zelevich, who doesn't eat and who doesn't drink already half a year, and she does not sleep. Let me put subtitles. So until tomorrow, I was very doubted about such a people exist until yesterday, and I doubted that such a people exist. And even that they say, yes, they eat sometimes, maybe they eat some kind of fruit once in 3 weeks. Still, it's not real and it's not manageable for normal functioning of the body. So, and yesterday I went to this meeting with Anastasia Zelevich, and I wanted to see her eyes. I already watching all her YouTube's video for half a year. I'm watching all her videos on YouTube and also her videos on Instagram, and it's very similar to what I'm feeling, what I don't eat and what I don't drink, when I don't drink. And yesterday?
Я думала, что в интернете, в принципе, то, как оно выглядит, и она довольно крупным планом снимается, это отражает всю суть. Но когда ты видишь человека живьем, там добавляются еще какие-то измерения, ты видишь человека еще.
So I thought I already know Anastasia because when I saw her videos, and she adds a lot of video where she's it's pretty close-up videos, like you can see her whole body and very close up. But when you see person life to life, there is one extra dimension that's adding up, and you see something else in the person.
Как-то глубже. Вот, видишь его взгляд лучше, ты видишь какие-то такие вещи, которые ускользают по интернету.
So you see that person deeper, and you see something that's slipping when you watch a person from internet.
Вчера я убедилась в том, что этот человек действительно не ест. Во-первых, она выглядит вообще как другой человек. То есть.
And yesterday I made sure for myself that this person is literally do not eat. First of all, she does not look like anybody I know. She looks like somebody, not a person. She looks like an extraterrestrial, a person from different planet.
У меня даже было ощущение, что это просто восковая фигура. Вот почему-то так. Она
For some reason, I thought it's a person. It's not a person. It's like a wax figure.
хорошо, но в то же время по-другому.
So she looks very good, but she looks different.
Просто по-другому. Вот. Это то, что внешнее. А то, что из нее идет ясность и трезвость.
And that's my impression. How does she only look like from outside? But now I want to say what's coming from inside of her. What's coming from inside of her is clarity and sobriety.
Я вот не знаю, может ли пьяный человек увидеть, что второй человек трезв,
I'm not sure if a drunk person can understand that the other person is not drunk when people drink alcohol.
мы все, кто ест и спит, мы все очень сильно на другом уровне сознания.
So we are all who eats and drink, we all on a different level of consciousness.
Мы как опьяненные этим.
Like if we're drunk people.
Вот. И это хорошо чувствуется, когда ты перестаешь с ней. Когда ты на сухом очень долго вот эта трезвость, она дает понять.
And you understand it very well when you stop eating and drinking. So you especially know this when you're on a dry fasting, and you can feel that sobriety.
До сих пор ты был в другом состоянии, затуманенном и нетрезвым.
And you understand that all that time before, when you were eating and drinking, you were like a drunk or inside the fog.
Так вот, вчера я четко увидела, что этот человек намного трезвее, чем мы.
So yesterday I saw that this person, Anastasia Zelevich, is way more sober than us.
То есть там идет трезвость, ясность, концентрация.
So she has this sobriety of her mind, clarity of her mind, and concentration.
Одним словом, я очень загорелась. Хотя, конечно, были вещи, которые немного меня, как это называется, обескуражили, нет. Ну, в общем, опустили резервы, когда он сказал, что вся фишка.
And after meeting with her, I got very, very inspired to start doing the same. But there are some things that discouraged me a lot after meeting her, because Anastasia Zelevich, she said that the whole trick of the whole process is. She said the main point in this process is not to sleep and not to eat and not to drink. That's nothing. That's it's not a big deal at all. So not to eat and drink, it's very easy, and not to sleep, that's the most difficult thing to do.
Спать это тоже круто. Вчера не спала до часу ночи, встала в 8, очень просто. Но, как что объяснить? Человек очень замотивировал, а не только меня, все, кто там были, мы все замотивировали, мы все хотим попробовать. Мы видим, что это другая реальность, другой мир, другие возможности.
And I want to try not to eat and not to drink. And yesterday I tried not to sleep until 1 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 8. But everybody who was present at this meeting got all motivated. We could see that it's another reality, another possibilities.
Мы все в такой глубокой матрице, и есть выход, есть надежда.
I understood that we are in such a deep matrix, and but there is an exit, there is a hope.
Куда идти, пробовать. Короче, это стоит того, я попробую, насколько мне хватит.
There is exit, where to go and how to do it. in short, I think it's worth to try, and I want to try it. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So here is Anastasia, that this lady that we have just translated her work was talking about. And the lady, Irina, I've forgotten the name, Gerdia? She's?
Gerda.
Gerdia, yeah. So Anastasia is here going to tell us a lot. You can start.
Guys, I want to translate you this video because this video does not have automatic subtitles in English, and so it's not available to you. So I would like to make it available to you. It says meeting with Anastasia Zelevich. We came up to this point when we eat animals, and for example, plants are the same. Why do we need to put plants in our mouths? Why don't we just enjoy looking at them? What's the reason? Why do we need to put that totally foreign thing and put it inside of us, the plant? Oh, what's the reason? So at some point you understand that water is an absolutely foreign subject, and for some reason you need to, she's using the word not put it inside yourself, but stuffed inside yourself. For what purpose? So for example, the beating of the animals, I think she's referring to mosquitoes. That's a reflection of your own aggression. So for example, if you are killing some kind of animal, you also gonna be under the knife. For example, you're gonna end up under the knife of the surgeon. This is how the planet Mars is working. Like if you're gonna kill, then you're gonna be cut. So everything is related to each other. Everything is just, and for each of my, everything that I'm doing, I'm responsible. I have responsibility for anything I'm doing. So I am the reason for everything what's happening in my life. So for any beaten of, let's say, mosquito, that's you're the one who is responsible. Like for example, if you're walking and for some reason you start stumbling. So for example, right now I'm working very closely to not sleep. And for me, it was normally that I slept, for example, 1 hour and a half or 2 hours a night. But now, for example, right now, I did not sleep for 2 days already. But now I notice that whenever I do sleep, I start stumbling. Like I walk, and I stumble. And for me, it was clear that it's about losing of control. So I understood immediately that I'm not a controller. Maybe it's going to be a little bit difficult to understand the connection. So any event in your life, for example, if you have a little stone inside your boot, or if you start stumbling, it's everything. It's about losing control, and it's all about, it's either you eating or you are sleeping. It's all things of the moon. We always have to work with this. We always have to get rid of it. Sleeping and food. So not sleeping and not eating, it's a foundation of everything. This is why we meet today. So Polina starts saying something, a girl from the audience, and Anastasia is saying, let's speak more louder, because we are offering our voice to each other. So Polina is saying, for example, when I don't eat and I don't drink, that's easy. But when I start to diminish the amount of sleep, I immediately start getting bombarded with emotions. It feels like there is something inside my throat, like a bull in my, something stuck in my throat, and I'm trying to start breathing. And I immediately, like inside a history starts. So at this moment, I take consciously and I start eating a cucumber. So I cannot do it immediately, like hop and immediately switch to non-sleeping. I have to do it gradually. There is a amazing amount of energy showing up, and you don't know what to do with this energy. So there's immense amount of energy start freeing up, and you don't know what to do with it. And at first I didn't know what to do with it, but then like, for example, do you know how I'm dealing with this amazing amount of energy that I got freed up? I just took tickets somewhere and I just flied away. And I think the same girl from audience, Polina, she's saying, I sew a dress for myself in one night. Because I didn't know what to do in the whole night, and I just decided to do it. I never sewed before, and in one night I just finished a dress. But we are different. So you sewed the dress, but for me, I'm not big fan of doing a little thing, doing a little motoric things. So to my temperament, it's better that I just fly away somewhere far. And you're not attached to a lot of things. So this is my bag, and with this bag, that's all my things inside this bag, and I'm flying with it. But did you notice one thing, that when you first, when you eating a raw food and raw fruit, your body is just passing it through. But then, did you notice that the further you go, your body is becoming worse and worse, getting rid of water? Your body is practically stop eliminating the water. For example, on when you do raw food eating, you notice that your intestine is working very, very good. You often go to toilet, but then you notice that from time to time, it's not working perfectly anymore. And the same thing's happening with water. It's gradually. First, for example, you would eat the whole watermelon, and you would just go during the night toilet on and on. But then you notice, if in the evening, for example, the further you do it, you notice that if you eat watermelon in the evening, you wake up in the morning and the whole watermelon is on the face, showing on your face. So from what we experienced lately, what we understood, that water is creating wrinkles. That's what water does. And water is drying us up. And you saw a lot of people who don't eat at all, but they drink water, and you can see how old they look like, because they all covered with wrinkles, because water drying us up. For example, if you're washing the dishes or you're dealing with water, then your hands gonna be all dried up. But I'm not going crazy. Said no, no, no. I'm not gonna touch the water. I'm normal. Like if I swim in the ocean, and the water is in my mouth, I feel totally normal about it. But I'm not gonna swallow it. I know it's salty. Why would I swallow it? Somebody asked her, oh, so you don't drink water at all? And Anastasia said, as far as water, like specifically water itself, I do not drink it for 2.5 years already. So in transitional period, I was drinking coconut water and juices, but it was not juices per se, because it was very little amount of juices. Because I understood almost right away that liquid is affecting my body even worse than food. And somebody's asking from audience, we heard the concept that when you, for example, eat cooked food, that you have to drink a lot of water so you can eliminate it. And Anastasia is saying that, yes, there is a concept like that. But if you remember, like when we ate a lot of cooked food, did you notice that when amount that you put inside and amount of that's coming outside, it's not the same. The thing that's coming out is way less. Everything is burning inside your body. Did you notice? Did you ask yourself that question? What happening to that amount of food? For example, if you add not sleeping as well, and you can jump right away to the dry days. So don't worry of this question that something's not going to come out of your body. Because the process of burning, switching on inside your body, and everything starts firing up. So you don't have to see what's like literally coming out of you. It's that food. It can just burn inside of you. That's my practical experience. So I started this process in September, and but I think because I'm experimenter, I'm a researcher. So sometimes I would go back to food and come back again. And did I tell you that already? That I have stones were coming out of my kidneys. I think I already told you about this. And first stones was coming out of my kidneys, and then more stones was coming out of my kidneys, and that was of course because I was eating fruits. And of course I made a lot of mistakes, so now I'm giving information so people do not repeat my mistake. So in transition period, she's suggesting not to go on a liquid diet and not to eat fruits, so you don't create any stones in your teeth or stones in your kidneys. And she's saying go transition right away to not eating, not sleeping, and not drinking. Somebody's asking her question, how much she sleeps now, and Anastasia is saying that son, that's a primary thing. Food is not as important as sleeping. And in that sense, that we were all sleeping before, we all sleep right now. And the most important thing is to stop sleeping and not eating. And the food is a consequence of because you sleep, that's why you eat. The food is consequences of you sleeping. And so why do you eat? Because when you sleep, after you wake up, you have such a high level of depression. So sleep giving you such a strong level of depression. So to somehow come back to life, you need to eat. You need a stimulator to come back to life after sleeping. So stimulator gonna push you out of that sleeping state. It's gonna get you back to life. And that's why food is consequences of sleeping. So people start asking you, but how do you do it if you just fallen asleep? How you do it in practice? And Anastasia is saying these two practices are parallel. The sleeping and eating, that's two parallel practices. But I did not do it like this. I'm telling you right now how to do it the best way, but I did not do it that way. So right now I understand how we can do it beautifully. So when I did, I crawl over that barrier. I was telling you about that film about Freddy Krueger, that when the students could not sleep, if they would fall asleep, the Freddy would come and they would take you away. They would kill you. Oh, this was old movie. Anastasia saying, you see how history can help us right now. So before people would get together, so they can keep waking up each other so they don't fall asleep. Because there are some people, they keep telling me, I don't eat at all, but I sleep. And I wonder how come they do that? And I understood that it's a liquid that's giving you sleep. If you eliminate liquid, you will not sleep. And also liquid, when you drink water or any liquid, it gives you sound in your joints, all crunchiness in your joints. So any liquids that's coming, foreign liquid that's coming inside your body, start immediately ruining your joints. This is the people that I worked with. I noticed that any foreign liquid, not your own liquid, it's just destroying your body. And this is all about the planet Neptune. Planet Neptune is about liquid and about sleeping. So whenever you drink something, you immediately want to fall asleep. And there is one moment, if you go to shower, exactly the same thing's gonna happen. You're gonna fall asleep. But if you go to ocean or any natural water source, if you swim, that's not happening the same way. So this is Aquarius. It's a alive and dead water. Which water you can use and which water you cannot use. And audience, people from audience asking her question about the water from the well, if it's harmful for your body. And Anastasia saying, of course, any foreign water is bad to put it inside. You should not put any water inside of you. But she said, I don't know. You have to check the water from the well. How does it affect? Is it harmful or not from outside of the body? She's saying that I have an idea that's doing everything step by step. You do not need to do this. You have to just jump right through it, right into that. But she said it depends on what kind of level person, how prepared person is to jump into that. For example, for you, the one who is listening to me right now, maybe you don't need it, but for some other people, they would need to go step by step. And even some people, they come to her and start being very angry at her, and they say, what are you talking about? And all of a sudden they start understanding, is I understand everything what you're saying. It's very clear to me. They say we understand everything perfectly. When you reduce the amount of water that you're getting in, your consciousness start rebuilding itself. That it's your autonomous body do not need anything at all, that it's all drugs. So anything foreign thing that you put inside your body is destroying your body. Of course, you can take it inside your body, but so you should know that there are going to be consequences. So, for example, you're going to start falling asleep, or you start having a sound, a crunchiness in your joints. So, and I noticed from my experience that when you leave, for example, water, and you're trying to switch to no water at all, it's going to be very hard, because the more you drink, the more you want to drink, and your mouth is so dry. And I remember that when I left a little bit of water and I tried with strength to just stop it, it was very hard. But you have to leave something for transition period. You have to leave something neutral. Like, for example, one time in 3 days, you would eat leaves of the salads. So you would eat the salad leaf, and then right away jump to the dry days. I think they call them dry days. And that's one crunch that you leave yourself, like, for example, leaves of the salad, and that would be much easier than if you would leave water. So after leaves of salad, you would not have a dry mouth. For example, after fruits, after something liquid, it's going to be very difficult to switch to dry days. You're going to have very dry mouth. So fruits not only have a lot of liquid, they also have acidity, and you're not going to be able to do it, and you're going to think, oh no, I cannot do it, I don't know how to do it, it's not for me. And you're going to think other people can do it, probably they have a lot of willpower and I don't have it. No, it's because of you have to switch, you have to jump it from the right food. And no, that's wrong. It's only because the method is wrong, because you don't understand method. Somebody asked you a question from audience. Can we jump right away from if you eat something cooked food, or you have to wait until you go to fruits and then do that? And Anastasia is answering that if you don't have a headache and if you you can take it normally, then why not? For example, not a bad combination is avocado and a cucumber. I already told you this example. I heard this concept, but I don't like too much somebody else's concept. That I heard that monks, they switch to not eating from vegetables and nuts. And I like that concept, and I heard it from a real monks, not the fake monks that somewhere in Thailand they smoke and they eat pork. So I was talking about real monks, and so in this case, because the cucumber, that's still water, but it does not have acidity like in the fruits, and avocado is also a nut. So in this case, avocado is working like absorbent. So right now you hearing some paradoxical things from me. Some telling you have to drink juices for a long time to switch. I think it's a bullshit. So I'm suggesting just as a crunches, you would use a salad and a practice of dry days and increasing of how many days you do that. So somebody asking her question, when do you stop dry days? When you feel bad, or you have to wait a little bit and get over this period when you or you stop right away when you feel bad. And Anastasia is saying that if you sleep, then you're gonna have this condition. You have to remove the sleep. So people think that it's consequences of drying days. You know, when you have stars in your eyes, you lose consciousness, or you have a headache. People think that's consequences of dry days, but no, it's because they're sleeping. So they feel horribly. They feel absolutely weak. It's because of the sleeping. Our problem is that we're sleeping. I'm always telling you that please don't believe me. Just try it for yourself. I'm always saying that you're not children that you see me first time in my life and you immediately have to do it. No, do it for yourself. Because we heard a lot about breatharians and their methodics, their methods, they're so complicated. And we heard that we have to have a meditation to do that. And they have to, and you have to know some kind of secret keys to do that. And Anastasia is saying that it's all bullshit because for all these little keys, you have to pay a lot of money. Like a big amount of money. It's all sorts of things that hooks you up. But I give a lot of free information. So I give a lot of free information, but when I consult people one-to-one, I take money for it. But of course, I give a lot of free consultation because some grandma would write me down, would write me, some student would write me and they say, we don't have any money. And of course, I'm very flexible. So I'm forced to work a lot for free. But I keep telling them, please don't come to me. I give you one consultation. I'll give you all the keys, and please don't come back to me. You can do everything on your own. Don't come back to me. I tell them, why you want to pay me money? So you already receive instruments, so start practicing. So we always use this concept of codependency, like you codependent on me, you constantly need to come to me, and you always need to pay money for me. That was an old concept. The cooked food is making an elephant out of us. It's not nice. It's not, it doesn't look nice. It looks horrible. That's what I think. And I always understood that I don't want to be an elephant. So you don't sleep, you run for 30 kilometers, you swim. What kind of, why would you have questions? And what concern about cooked food, that for girls it's immediately goes to their butt and their legs, and for men it goes to stomach, right? Correct? Audience is confirming, yes, stomach. So that's our parts of our body that's supposed to be beautiful, our butt and our legs. And with this rice, we immediately we making them ugly. And one girl from audience, she's saying, I don't want to be skinny. And Anastasia is saying, then you have to use weight, or you have to use exercise. So for me, motivation was a rheumatoid polyarthrite when I had. Otherwise, I would never switch to not eating, if not for my sickness. And somebody is asking from audience, so when you switch to fruits, some other sickness showing up, or like, why did you, when you already switched to fruits from your sickness, why did you switch to from fruits to not eating? And Anastasia said, but my sickness did not go away when I switched to fruits. Anastasia is saying, after dry days, when you start eating fruits and vegetables, your body is reacting very strongly to fruits and vegetables, and because the body becomes very sensitive. She's saying this is the most powerful practice on modern day, on today's day. Even when you do 36 hours or 48 hours. So you immediately, and after that you would eat, and you immediately will see very strong reaction. For example, your lip could be inflamed. Or for example, you would have a swollen throat, or you have angina. So can we stop for today, Frederick?